September 17, 1862, the Battle of Antietam, was the culmination of Robert E. Lee's 1862 Maryland campaign.
Lee was coming off of a recent victory at the Battle of Second Manassas, and he believed he had the momentum necessary to possibly deliver a war-winning blow here in the state of Maryland.
Robert E. Lee's primary objective was to meet and defeat George B. McClellan's Army of the Potomac. He has 40,000 men. George B. McClellan will have about 85,000 men, double what Lee has. Lee's Army of Northern Virginia was a nearly exhausted army. After their victory at the Second Manassas, similarly, McClellan, with his 85,000-man Army of the Potomac, his soldiers are also tired.
Antietam was a battle with international implications. At the start of this campaign, England and France, major European powers, were on the verge of recognizing the Confederacy as an independent nation. This would have likely led to diplomatic, possibly financial support for the Southern cause, as well as legitimacy for the Confederacy in the eyes of the world. They are waiting for the Confederacy to prove itself on the battlefield before they make this major leap of faith in recognizing the South as an independent nation. Because of what happened here at Antietam on September 17th of 1862, England and France decided they would not recognize the Confederacy. Thus, the South lost perhaps its best chance to achieve international recognition in the American Civil War.
By this time in the war, Abraham Lincoln was poised to issue a proclamation of emancipation, freeing the slaves. However, his cabinet cautioned him against that. Things had been going so poorly for the North, they insisted that an Emancipation Proclamation would look like a cry of desperation. This victory, small as it was here at Antietam, is enough of a victory for the North to enable Lincoln to issue that Emancipation Proclamation.
On September 9th of 1862, Robert E. Lee, the Confederate commander, decided he was going to split his forces. To do this, he issued what is known as Special Orders 191. On September 13th of 1862, Union soldiers came across a copy of these orders, the famed Lost Orders of the Maryland Campaign. What these orders tell McClellan: the Confederate Army is divided. These orders give McClellan the information he needs to attack Confederate forces on South Mountain on September 14th of 1862. After a day-long fight, Federal forces have taken control of 3 mountain passes, dealing Lee a significant blow. On September 15th of 1862, the Union garrison at Harper's Ferry will surrender. Thus, the stage is set for the Battle of Antietam on September 17th of 1862. The fighting here at Antietam began very early in the morning on September 17, 1862, around the cornfield and the East Woods on the northern half of the battlefield. For the first hour of this battle, the casualties are so heavy, they come to about 1 per second. Over the span of 3 to 4 hours, there are over 8,000 casualties in and around that cornfield. Wave after wave of Union soldiers are committed to the fighting, battering Lee's left flank. Wave after wave of Confederates are being sent to stop them. Altogether, there are over 8,000 men killed, wounded, or missing in and around that cornfield that morning. They assault an old sunken farmer's road of no real significance before this battle. Now it is famously known as Bloody Lane. From 9:30 in the morning till 12 o'clock noon, Union soldiers will slam against the Confederate defensive positions around that sunken road. By the time the fighting has ended for that position, another 5,600 casualties have been added to the toll of this battle. Altogether, by 1 in the afternoon, there are 17,000 casualties here at the Battle of Antietam.
As the battle closed on the evening of September 17, 1862, both armies, after this titanic struggle, remained essentially in what were their original positions. Following the battle, the armies will move on. However, for the civilians who returned to this area, it was a scene of utter desolation. Farms destroyed, fences down, livestock run off, all barns and homes converted into field hospitals. It would take the people of this valley a good 5 years to recover fully from this 13-hour battle. The total number of casualties in 13 hours here at the Battle of Antietam was 23,110 Americans killed, wounded, or missing.
across this battlefield, the Union Army of the Potomac and the Confederate Army of Virginia met in one of the worst days this country has ever known. There were more battle casualties here at Antietam in one day than there were in the Revolutionary War, the War of 1812, and the War with Mexico combined, making this the bloodiest single-day battle in all of American history.